Good morning, good morning. How are we? It's 7:30 on a Saturday morning, so nice way to start your weekend. So I'm picking up from where Meg left off yesterday, and it's a similar sort of story. It's from Mark 3, verses 1 to 6. Once more, Jesus went to the synagogue. There was a man there with a withered hand. People were watching to see if Jesus would heal him on the Sabbath, so that they could frame a charge against him. "Stand up," said Jesus to the man with the withered hand, "and come out here." And he said to them, "Is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath or to do evil? To save life or to kill?" They stayed quiet. He was deeply upset at their hard-heartedness and looked round at them angrily. Then he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." He stretched it out, and his hand was restored. The Pharisees went out right away and began to plot with the Herodians against Jesus, trying to find a way to destroy him. Now, we've talked about this before, haven't we? That the religious leaders were watching Jesus, constantly watching for him to, in their words, like slip up and do something wrong, because they really, really didn't like this man. He was doing things that went against what they thought was right for a Jew to do. And you saw yesterday he broke the rules of the Sabbath, and again today that's exactly what he's doing again. But you know, like Meg said yesterday, they said that Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. He was there for us to give us a day of rest. And like Jesus says here, you know, he says, you know, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath? He healed this man. Yesterday he fed people, and it's like, you know, should he not do that? Because it goes against the laws that the religious leaders have made for the Sabbath, not the rules that God made. God gave us the day to rest. But then the religious leaders had all made these, over the years, they added rules constantly to what you could and couldn't do on the Sabbath. And it was these rules that Jesus was breaking. So not God's rules, it was the religious leaders, the Jewish church's rules that he was going against, and they were watching him constantly because they were always looking for a way to trip him up. And it says in this passage that this was the start of them starting to plot against him with the Herodians, it says here. So the Romans, the people who were in charge, that they were trying to find a way to destroy him, because he just healed a man on a day that they thought that they should have for rest, you know. And I think sometimes we can get too caught up in rules, and you know, do we place those more, you know, are more important than Jesus, than God, you know? And I think the church is quite known for it, you know, make up all these rules, and people think that there are all these rules around church, and at the end of the day what it should be is about Jesus. It should be Jesus centered. And you know, Jesus healed a man on Sabbath, and should he not have? Should he, you know, was it a good thing that he did it? I mean, sure, the man would have been over the moon that Jesus did it. And how could he not help this man? You know, the rules were made were, I don't know, perhaps a bit silly, a bit strict, a bit too strict, when God had given them this day of rest. And it was the man who added all these rules to it, you know. So that's our story, and I think that's something we need to keep in mind. You know, do we add rules as Christians, as the church? Do we make it too difficult for people to come to Jesus? And I think that's something that we need to keep in mind, really, that we're not keeping people away because of rules and the way we think things should go. You know, there's something to think about, isn't it? So enjoy your weekend, and you've got Jess back with you on Monday, so we'll see you then. Bye.